So a few months back, I made a video responding to an individual known as insideoutfan 2001. I know he has a different name for his channel now, but that was his original name, so for simplicity's sake, I'm just gonna call him that. Anyway, the video I went over is his laughably terrible rant on Into the Spider-Verse. Not just with him completely misunderstanding the movie, but also his at times awkward acting, and just him trying to record everything in one go with barely any script or direction. Anyway, with the sequel recently coming out, he had decided to not just make a video bashing the crap out of that movie, but considering it the worst movie of all time. I'm not joking. I of course disagree with this. I thought the movie was absolute peak, but that's beside the point. Let's just see if this video is any better than the last one I talked about.
June 2nd, 2023 will be forever known as the day movies died. This was me coming out of Spider-Man Across the Spider Hell. This was the worst! This was the worst movie of all time!
Again, I must comment on the absolutely incredible acting here. Angela Bassett must be quaking right now.
Holy shit! It's Spider-Man!
So the story is basically just about Miles and Gwen, who basically goes to this other dimension with other spider people and all that, and yada yada, and dumb twists and all that, and fuck it, there's just no plot. No fucking plot at all.
If there's no plot, then what was all that you just explained before you said that?
It was my least anticipated movie of all time. I was just not looking forward to it, and I just couldn't look forward to it, guys. Considering that the Spider-Verse fandom is like the most toxic fandom ever, guys.
And by toxic, you mean the people who love this movie don't explicitly say it's okay to dislike the movie, even though they don't need to.
What happened?
I was bitten by a regular spider.
Do you have any powers or anything?
I have the power of minutes left to live. I shit web.
Holy fucking shitballs! The animation is even worse than the animation in Food Fight and Norman the North.
You cannot be fucking serious right now.
This guy literally just said the animation in Food Fight and Norman the North is better than Across the fucking Spider-Verse. I haven't seen either movie, but good God, from what I've seen of Food Fight, that shit is some of the ugliest stuff I have ever seen in an animated movie, period. Especially that fucking big-ass lady with the cart. Good God, she's fucking hideous. Get her off my screen.
I don't get how the fuck people are praising the animation in this film. It's so ugly. It's hideous. It's horrible. It's so cheap and lazy.
You do know this movie had a huge team behind it, right? Meaning that team had to get paid, therefore they had to spend a lot of money for said team. Just thought I'd bring this up considering what you just said. Also, your reasoning for the animation being bad is probably worse than your reasoning for the first movie's animation being bad. At least in that video, you actually explained yourself. You explained very poorly, but you at least tried to explain what you meant.
The shittiest sequel you could dish up, guys. It expands its world in such a dull way, and it keeps reminding you of events or even have similar imagery from the first movie. Like, they'll quote the first movie and also have a certain imagery that reminds you of the first movie. In a way, this is honestly a Frozen 2-like sequel, guys. What do I mean by that? Well, it's a kind of sequel that basically just references the first film without being very standalone. There's literally a lack of originality and a lack of content.
From what I remember, they don't really do it too much, and even then, there's nothing really wrong with that. It's called continuity, my guy. Also, some of the references to the first movie actually do play an integral part to the story. Like, for example, the spider that bit Miles being from another dimension, which was even foreshadowed with the spider glitching up.
And all those different Spider-Man people that you saw in the trailers, guys, honestly, they were just boring-ass stock characters, I gotta say. And they were only there to make shitty jokes. And I know.
Yeah. They weren't supposed to be that interesting because they're just background characters. And they did kind of serve their purpose with making the Spider Society really feel like a big-ass organization.
I should talk about the humor because I know a lot of people are gonna say, "Oh, you gotta talk about the humor. Isn't this a funny movie? Can you say at least this movie's funny?" Honestly, I gotta say, this is the death of comedy. There is not a single moment that I laughed. Not once. I never laughed throughout this movie. I was cringing so hard, guys, to the point that I was compressing my whole body that I wasn't able to breathe of how cringy it was. It's literally the cringiest movie you could think of.
Now, if you didn't find the movie funny, that's fine. I can't really argue with that. Hell, I didn't think the movie was all that funny. Granted, I didn't cringe at the comedy, but I wasn't laughing my ass off either. But think you could explain exactly why the jokes didn't work? Oh right, I forgot I'm watching an Inside Out Fan 2001 video.
Hey. Drop everything out of your pockets.
Hey! Like literally, there was a scene where there was a, that honestly didn't serve anything to the plot, guys. It was literally just a random montage that was only a few seconds long. It's like, Peter Parker and, J. Jonah Jameson, but in Lego form, guys. Yes, there was a Lego sequence in this movie. And that didn't serve into the plot. In fact, that was just a dumb, cheap joke right there.
That Lego scene wasn't a montage, it was a cameo. And yes, it did add something to the story with the Spot looking into the Lego world and Peter Parker telling this to Spider-Man 2099. Lego Peter Parker to be precise. It also wasn't that long, so why does it matter that much?
The self-comedy is also bad improv. Like,
Okay, how exactly do you know the comedy was improvised? Do you not know what improv is?
and all these other comic characters, oh boy. If you thought they fucked up Deadpool and X-Men Origins so badly, if you thought they fucked up the 3 villains in Amazing Spider-Man 2 so badly, there are so many characters, comic book characters, that are so completely fucked up. Like, for example, the Vulture in this movie. Yeah, the Vulture is actually in this movie. Oh my goodness, he looks nothing like he does in the comics, guys. He looks more like the Bot King from Strange Magic.
Dude, that was the point. He wasn't supposed to look like the Vulture from the comics. He was from another dimension. They literally make that clear in the fucking movie. How did you miss that? Also, remember when he said a ton of comic book characters were ruined in this movie? Vulture's like the only one he brings up. Yeah.
Well, that was another easy adventure for Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2099 was just awful. Also, when he takes his mask off, I'm like...
First of all, you can't just change scenes like that out of nowhere. Second of all, how could you react that way to him taking his mask off? It's as if you're just desperately looking for excuses to complain at this point.
And the new Spider people, I didn't give a shit about them. Like that lady with the yellow sunglasses, all that, I didn't care for. The Spot is just a freaking dumbass. And Gwen Stacy, oh my goodness. She freaking sucks. And I know, I don't really bring up this criticism to describe like a female character, like this term that a lot of movie critics go to, like a negative criticism to go and describe an over-empowered woman and all that. But honestly, I have to bring it up. Gwen Stacy in this movie is freaking woke. Yep. I can't believe I'm saying it. She is a woke character. I mean,
Once again, you don't bother explaining why you think this.
also the opening scene, oh my goodness. I never cringed so hard in my life when I heard that drum beat and all that. That was Gwen Stacy basically beating up drums and all that. In my screening, I was like, stop drumming! Fucking stop drumming, you punk ass bitch! Just please stop drumming so that this bane of my existence can be over with.
How could somebody drumming make you cringe? Again, you're just looking for reasons to complain at this point.
But my dorm room is very adult.
Right. No, of course. Hey, are these your drawings?
What? No,
Oh,
no.
good.
Mayday Parker was so annoying, guys. I guarantee you, he's one day gonna be the next Ice Age, baby. I guarantee you. I mean, Oh my goodness, I was so annoyed by this baby that I just wanted to chuck him off a cliff for all I care.
The reason why people were shitting on the Ice Age baby is because he looked ugly as all fuck. You seriously can't look at Mayday Parker and convince me that she's gonna become the next Ice Age baby. Also, try using a video downloader so you wouldn't have to record your screen. Because certain moments like that Rafiki shot look really cheap.
And also, remember that post-credit scene in the first movie with the Spider-Man the 60s Spider-Man and the Spider-Man 2099 Spider-Man? You did that pointing thing. Remember that cringy joke? It's brought back in this movie, and this time it's literally a dumb plot point.
It wasn't a plot point, it was a joke.
And also, at the very end of this film, there's a cliffhanger, and I'm sorry to spoil this, and honestly, I don't care to spoil this, because trust me, this is my least favorite movie of all time, so I have every right to spoil this shit. It turns out there's another dimension, and guess what? Uncle Aaron is alive! No big shock, right? And also, he's actually not the real Plower in this universe. The real Plower is, guess what? Another Miles! Ha ha ha! Okay. That's right, it turns out there's another Miles in another alternate universe who's technically evil, of course. And I was like, oh my goodness, they're going with this cliche! They're going with this cliche that I really despise. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's basically this main character meeting itself in another alternate universe. You know, first Lego Movie 2 did this, and also last year's Lightyear, and now Across the Spider shit. Yes, it's actually going through that cliche.
Okay. Why do you hate this cliche? Better yet, why do you hate how this cliche is handled in this movie? Now, for the record, I haven't seen Lego Movie 2 in a while, and I haven't seen Lightyear at all. But in Lightyear's case, I heard they used some kind of convoluted time travel BS that wasn't established prior in order for this twist to even work, when in this movie they're simply just using other dimensions, which makes sense considering these movies heavily involve the multiverse.
This is why this is the worst sequel ever made. It literally goes through every cliche in the book, without any cleverness nor originality, and the experience just doesn't feel fresh, it just feels the same as the first.
Alright. Care to explain any other supposed cliches this movie has? Care to explain how it's too similar to the first movie? Of course you don't. Why am I not surprised?
And yeah, it literally turns out all the new characters and old characters from the first movie, they all joined together, team up for the next movie and blah blah, with that cliffhanger at the end, which honestly, I didn't even stay for the post-credit scenes. I left the theater because I couldn't take another minute with this shit anymore.
Well, there wasn't even a post-credit scene to stay for anyway.
Well, that was another easy adventure for Spider-Man.
It is just the unholy god-awfulness of horribleness that you can ever think of, guys. From its horribly told story, horribly told world building, and just awfully written characters, and just it's just in those god-awful character designs. Oh my goodness. I feel bad for the people that animated this movie, everyone involved with the production of this film. I just feel bad for everyone who made this shit. And these animators, they deserve to go to jail for making this total cancer of animation.
And that's all I have to say about this video. Let's move on to final thoughts. Big shocker, but this video was a giant pile of radioactive spider shit. It has the same problems as the previous video. Poor acting, constant stuttering, no scripted direction, lack of elaboration, completely misunderstanding the movie he's talking about. The editing is slightly better, at least he's using jump cuts more consistently. I'll give him that. But it really feels like he's just hating the movie for the sake of hating it, or simply because it's a sequel to a movie he hates. Not like his reasons for hating the first movie were any better. This might be the last time I respond to this guy, but if something interesting comes up involving him, I may talk about it. Anyway, Across the Spider-Verse is an absolute work of art, and movies will never be good again. Go see it, bye.